I'm Jason Las Vegas. These are my 2021 NFL Week 12 picks. Okay, so it is currently 6:39 a.m. here in Las Vegas, Monday, November 22nd, 2021. We still have the Monday night game for NFL Week 11. We'll add that to our bet. We're going to take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on the money line versus the New York Giants. Tampa Bay are a lot more healthy than they've been in the last few weeks. They're coming off of 2 losses. I think a nice home game versus the terrible New York Giants is a good way to start a win streak for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So I'm gonna just take them on the money line for this bet. First bet of NFL Week 12 that we will take. We're going to take the Dallas Cowboys coming off of a pretty bad performance versus the Chiefs. We're going to take them on the money line versus the Raiders. The Raiders got blown out by the Cincinnati Bengals. Cowboys didn't score any touchdown versus the Chiefs, and the Chiefs are streaking. You know, the Chiefs are a really good team. But with that, the Cowboys aren't playing the Chiefs this weekend, so playing the Raiders are a completely different game plan. The Raiders don't really have a good pass. They don't really have a good run at the moment, so the Cowboys should be able to win this game. I'm not going to give any points. I'm going to just take the Cowboys on the money line. This game is kind of tricky. I'm a little worried about... Hold on, let's go to all pro games. I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills on a money line versus the Saints. Buffalo Bills just got blown out by the Colts. The Colts are a pretty good team, let's be honest. But the Saints, they don't seem to be that good. They still have a lot of injuries on that team. And I think the Buffalo Bills are going to come off of a pretty bad loss at home. And they're going to want to get a victory here. So I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills on a money line. This is going to be a really good game. I think it's probably kind of easy to fade the Titans because they just lost to the Texans. But I'm going to take the New England Patriots. I'm going to jump on a bandwagon a little bit late, but I'm going to take them on a money line. This should be a good game. I'm a little worried about the Titans' run game. I'm a little worried about the Titans' pass game. The Patriots may even be able to easily cover in this game. But for this specific parlay, I'm going to take the Patriots on a money line. Next game, I have to take the Titans against the spread minus 3 points. The Jets are, if it wasn't for the Lions, the Jets would literally be the worst team in the league. The Titans are pretty good. Obviously, Tyrod Taylor played really well the first couple of weeks. He got injured the last few weeks. Now he's been back for the Texans the last few weeks. Played pretty well versus Miami, and then just got a victory this weekend over the Tennessee Titans. So you have to take the Texans over the Jets. Take the points. It doesn't really matter. The Jets are terrible. It'd probably be easy to take the Eagles. It's just the Giants are playing on Monday night, so I just want to see what the Giants are doing. But I would lean towards taking the Eagles on the money line. I'm going to skip that for this parlay. Same situation with the Bucs. The Bucs are playing the Colts. Bucs are currently a favorite. If they lose tonight versus the Giants, they probably won't be a favorite. So I'm just going to I'm gonna wait. That's going to be a really good game to watch, right? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Colts. So I'm just not going to bet on that game. Obviously, I'm not betting on the Falcons or the Jaguars. I mean, come on. Next game, I'm going to have to take the San Francisco 49ers. They've been playing really well the last couple of weeks. They started the season off losing a lot of home games, but I think this is a good home game for them to win. The Vikings are really tough, but the 49ers have a really, really good defense. They did lose a game versus the Colts, but once again, the Colts are pretty good, and it was raining pretty bad in that game. But I think 49ers home game versus Minnesota. Minnesota plays games pretty close. -2 doesn't seem too bad. -2.5 doesn't seem too bad for the 49ers. But for this specific parlay, I'm just going to take the 49ers in Santa Clara to win a home game. Another good game this weekend will be the Los Angeles Rams versus the Green Bay Packers. I think both teams are coming off losses, so I'm just going to watch that game. I'll just be a fan. Next game, I'm going to take the Baltimore Ravens -4.5. Now, We don't know if Lamar Jackson is playing in this game. That could be a little bit worrisome because if he's not playing in this game, I don't think taking the Ravens minus 4.5 is a good idea. But I'm going to assume that by that time, Lamar Jackson will be playing in a game. I think, this line would be a little bit lower if it was confirmed that, the likely that Lamar wasn't going to play in this game. But since it's minus 4.5, I'm assuming some people have some information that Lamar is most likely to play in this game. Next game, I'm going to take the Washington football team plus 1.5. Seattle Seahawks are terrible. They can't win road games. They can't win home games. I'm fading them for the rest of the season. I think Washington football team are a little bit underrated. They beat the Buccaneers. They just beat the Carolina Panthers on the road. So I think a team like this plus 1.5, they have a better opportunity to make the playoffs. To me, Seattle Seahawks seem to be done for the season. Losing to the Packers like 17-0. Losing this week. Who did they just lose to? They just lost this weekend. Oh, yeah, they lost to the Cardinals. Seattle just lost to the Cardinals at home. Cardinals did not have their starting quarterback, so Seattle seems to have dumped the season. I'm going to take the Washington football team plus 1.5. So even if they do lose, I think they probably don't lose by more than 1 point anyway. But I think it would probably be a good idea to even take them on a money line because I think Washington football teams wins this game. But I'm just going to take them against the spread. I'll take the plus 1 point for a team that I think is going to win the game. There's also a lot of college football games this weekend. We want to throw a few of those into this parlay. There's a lot of college football games. As you can see, there's Tuesday games, there's Thursday games, there's Friday games, and there's Saturday games. So if you see any lines you like, I would say add them to your parlays. There's a lot of good games this weekend for college football. One of the best games this weekend, obviously everyone will be paying attention to, will be Ohio State versus Michigan. I will be live streaming that game, but I won't be betting on that game. Obviously, most likely people will be betting on Ohio State. I'm going to be pulling for Michigan to win that game, but I won't be betting on that game. I just want to watch that game. First team for college that I'm going to add to this parlay is the team UTSA on a money line. I'm also going to take Alabama versus Auburn on a money line. I'm a little worried about this game with Alabama. They had a little bit of trouble last week at home versus Arkansas. But this is a week before some championship games. I don't think Alabama can afford to lose this game. This is a little risky bet, but minus 1,200, I'll take Alabama on a money line. A little risky bet, I have to be honest. This will be a good game to watch if it's late and it's close late. But I'm going to risk it. I'm going to take Alabama on a money line. But I think that should be a good game. It could either be a blowout or it's going to come down to the last quarter. Next game I'm going to take is Louisiana on the money line. And the last team I want to add to this parlay will be Notre Dame on the money line versus Stanford. I was going to add BYU, but something about that game worries me. I don't know what, but something about that game. I don't want to add them there. So this is a 12-team parlay. We're taking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on the money line. We're taking the Cowboys, the Bills, the Patriots, the Titans -3, the 49ers, the Ravens -4, Washington football team plus 1.5, UTSA on the money line, Alabama on the money line, Louisiana on the money line, and Notre Dame on the money line. We're going to risk $2 to win $115.93. So there you have it. Those are my NFL Week 12 picks. We have a 12-team parlay. We're taking the Tampa Bay Bucks for NFL Week 11, actually, tonight, Monday night game versus the Giants. We're going to take the Tampa Bay Bucks on a money line. We're taking the Thursday night game, the Cowboys on a money line versus the Raiders. We're taking another Thursday game, the Thanksgiving game. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. We're taking the Buffalo Bills on a money line at the Saints. We're taking the New England Patriots at home on a money line versus the Tennessee Titans. We're taking the Houston Texans -3 against the Jets. We're taking the San Francisco 49ers on a money line versus the Minnesota Vikings. We're taking the Baltimore Ravens -4.5 against the spread versus the Cleveland Browns. We're taking the Washington football team +1.5. That's the Monday night game versus the Seattle Seahawks. We're taking UTSA on a money line, Alabama on a money line, Louisiana on a money line, and Notre Dame on a money line. Will I go 12-0 or will I go 0-12? What are your NFL Week 12 picks? Who's your favorite? Who's your favorite? What's your lock of the week? Who's your underdog/upset of the week? And which game are you looking forward to watching the most? There's a lot of good games this weekend. The Thursday games aren't the best. I think there's like the Bears versus the Lions. I don't think anyone's going to watch that game. The Raiders versus the Cowboys. I don't know how much that's going to get. And the Bills versus the Saints. If that game was in Buffalo and it was like snowing, how cool would that be for Thanksgiving? But the Bills versus the Saints, that's not like must-watch TV. I would say, you definitely want to pay attention to Minnesota versus the 49ers. That's going to be a pretty good game. Obviously, the Browns versus the Ravens. We want to see what happens there. The Tennessee Titans versus the New England Patriots. That's going to be a really good game. The Colts versus the Bucks. That's another very good game. So there's some really good games this NFL Week 12. Please enjoy it. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Be thankful. Have a happy Thanksgiving. I'm Jason, Las Vegas. These are my 2021 NFL Week 12 picks. A 12-team parlay, risking $2 to win $115.93. Happy Thanksgiving.